Hello, fabulous fans and superstars of my dear friend Nadiya Shah. I am Yuriria Robles and I wish you a very happy 2025. Welcome to the predictions for each sign for the month of January 2025. Remember to check your sun sign, your ascendant, and your moon sign so that you have a more complete prediction. Sagittarius, your ruling planet Jupiter is in your opposite sign, Gemini. So it is not at all strong. It brings dispersion and the possibility of meeting many people without really connecting with any. Even so, you have to be serious and responsible because the path of growth and order are configured by Jupiter in Gemini and Saturn in Pisces. This supposes a conflict of possibilities. The dilemma is to change or continue as you are, and Mars in Cancer is emphasizing the attachment to the past, and Pluto imposes its orientations towards the future, making the choice even more tense and complex. The dilemma is to take a risk or deny an opportunity. To reconcile this is the work. This is a process that will be in effect until mid-year. Jupiter in Gemini takes us to Mercury, and this suggests that you open your horizon and be inspired to show your healed creativity by recovering your source of love and creativity. Above all, so that you enjoy it more than to show it. In addition, the month begins with a tense dialogue imposed by the Moon and Pluto conjunction in exact opposition to Mars, which means a work of action and confrontation, establishing a power struggle in the area of communication, beliefs, philosophy, and religion that will be reviewed later. This dialogue proposes an interaction between the creative teacher and the group in such a way that the different positions must be balanced. The leader, in addition to acting with creativity, must take the group into account, which in turn must show intelligence and discipline to control its obsession with the new. The strength is in the dialogue. As Mars is in a retrograde period on the 6th, it re-enters Cancer, and with it your focus on the resources you share with your partners and your spouse. To move your dialogue towards the Sun in Capricorn in the area of money and possessions, attitudes towards them, and the way to use and acquire them. Here, there is a reevaluation work that has already been carried out by you for 14 years, and this is the period that concludes now. You are clear about the goals you want to achieve, protecting what gives you security. This dialogue generates anxiety and tension because moving towards achieving goals implies leaving the past behind, and that scares us, especially on the 13th when the full moon occurs together with this Mars, strengthening the old values that made you get to where you are, and you feel that the goals and paths to improve put at risk what has been achieved. This process will extend until April, and only then will we return to the dynamic that was proposed on January the 1st, allowing a leadership that is capable of moving the groups towards the future with discipline and intelligence. For you, the opposition between Mars and Pluto on the Leo-Aquarius axis has meant a job of reviewing the way you communicate, the content, and the people near and far. For now, it will be suspended so that you can focus on closing situations that have given your security and to which you have been anchored for too long. You will find a way to review which ones are still valid and others that you can discard because they will not be useful for the future. In reference to Venus, it is ending its passage in Aquarius, which softened your relationship with siblings, cousins, and neighbors. But on the 3rd, it will move to Pisces, where its energy is expressed gently, imposing its logic of romance and idealism, entering your home, close environment, and family trajectory. You will rethink the relationship with your father and your origins and roots. You will seek to beautify your home so that it's a place full of love and creativity. The first thing you will encounter is the challenge of commitment. because on the 18th, Venus reached Saturn and a harmonious dialogue with Mars is established, emphasizing with this the love of the past and at the same time the love of the new, because Uranus imposes a brief harmonious connection to this. Then, when comes the new ideas and people who will help you fix the situation. The point is that you are not confused by your partner or your business partners. Towards the end of the month, on the 28th, Venus will reach the degree to which it will return during its retrograde period in March and April. On the 29th, it will reach Neptune in Pisces, and the North Node also enter the sign. So all this means a great idealization, a longing for love and desire that surpasses all imagination. On the non-coherent side, it means great sacrifice and detachment from reality. This movement to Pisces is emphasized by the North Node and will remain in Pisces for 18 months, with its counterpart, the South Node in Virgo. This axis brings to you the decision to serve and dedicate to your professional life and your career, even if you idealized being at home and to fight for what sustains you. You have the task of turning your home into a space of artistic, creative, and loving production that allows you to put down strong roots and create a satisfactory future life. This change affects relationships that will insatiably seek this idealization that is natural to the North in Pisces, but it will be considerably increased by the Venus-Neptune conjunction. The objective of this configuration is to re-establish faith and love in the ideal, but it brings the stamp of impatience, first because it advances to Aries and then retreats to the inferior conjunction of Venus, which in itself brings restlessness. Everything will end in a long conjunction with Saturn, which is where it began, bringing the love adventure to reality. In turn, indicating from the beginning to the end that method, discipline, perseverance, and order are what will sustain the gift of this conjunction that is unique in life. On the 13th, when the full moon forms in Cancer, it does so in conjunction with Mars, which emphasizes the confrontation with Pluto that we have been pointing out. Therefore, taking care of security should not distract us from our goal, because if we do not risk changing, improving ourselves internally, and hiding what we know, we will lose progress, and the purpose will not be fulfilled. On the other hand, risking everything by losing security is not advisable either. So balance is necessary, not only during this day, but the following week, from the 13th to the 21st of the month, when the Sun will join this dialogue. Neptune allows us to imagine how improvement would be possible without losing security. Perhaps we can sacrifice some things, situations, or relationships in search of progress, realizing that they are really a burden or a comfort zone and that we can no longer stay in the same place or in the same situation. Then we can be honest, use diplomacy and elegance to say goodbye to the old and strive to reach the new. As I said at the beginning, it involves an exercise in discipline, effort, and willpower, above all, to reach the desired goal. Now let us remember that belonging does not mean adjusting or conforming to what others think and say. It is about offering the best of ourselves and negotiating with others. If they do not want it, that is not the place. And in contrast, accepting what others are and offer. If you do not want to, then there's no obligation to stay either. But by accepting each and every one obtains the responsibility for their actions, fulfilling their obligations while maintaining a creative attitude in the group. Even through Uranus, we have the willingness to change the costume and the old. Mercury, in its passage through Capricorn, also focuses on the goal. But even with this, we can insist on the fear that gives us to lose what we have gained. Even if it means improvement, it is wanting to put on new shoes without taking off the old ones. The full moon emphasizes the decision process between the old and the new. Leaving the comfort zone requires courage and in knowing how to adapt to the unknown. The above will be idealized because Neptune is lifting the veil of the ideal of the past and Pluto supports this mirage. But at the same time, we are tempted by the new due to the harmonious dialogue with Uranus at this time. In addition, we feel the confrontation of the wound of the past with the rebelliousness to come to an agreement. We are in no way willing to give in on anything. Venus at this time, together with Saturn, also cooperates in the tense dialogue with Jupiter, which proposes an excess of communication with multiple voices and proposals that cause dispersion, and yet the resolution of this conflict would make us win the future. I propose calm and patience because the pressure of the new is inevitable. For you, Sagittarius, the full moon will emphasize, together with Mars, the review of financial situations that you share in order to rearrange or close the situation. It is a process that begins now and will take until April to close and enter a new stage. You may close with situations, people, and things that should give you space to live differently, since Venus will bring an ideal and romantic situation to your home from the past and will help you transform your situation. It will be a process that covers a few months, and the second half of the year will be better. Just before the end of the month, on the 29th, the new moon, preceded by Pluto and Mercury, reinforces the sense of renewal in the groups to which we belong, in hopes, in ideologies, and above all, in what we consider intelligent. This lunation leads to fascination and a taste for the new, and Jupiter at this time brings a harmonious dialogue to get things right with it. Enthusiasm and multiple ideas, inciting towards the new and technology. In addition, the North Node promises an ideal, a utopia, if you will, and at this moment, the position of Mars in relation to Saturn seems to show agreements on what is worth preserving and what is not. This last planet is the ruler of the lunation, and in its position in Pisces, it brings us an effort to accept that it is possible to order the imagined reality. At times, what we imagine will be too big, and we will still suffer from the excesses of Pisces, but we will try to achieve an improvement anyway. The essential challenge to overcome is to accept the wound, forgive in order to move on, and force yourself to negotiate, being honest with those who truly need to. Only then will we be able to overcome resentment, anger, and paralysis. Also at that time, Mars receives all the support to find reasons, feelings to preserve what is valuable, and with this we will feel the strength to defend in an orderly and sensible way our beliefs, policies, and tastes. With the new moon, the focus returns to communication, to new people in your daily environment who will bring important relationships to your life, and above all, a new way of communicating, relying on technology and new knowledge, a process that will make it easier for you to connect with the new. The work is new, different, and do not allow yourself to be rebellious or listen to gossip to succeed on focusing on giving the best of yourself. This contradiction between the group of planets in Pisces and those in Aquarius makes action difficult for us. On the one hand, it awakens rebellion, and on the other, the wound of acting at the wrong time or without success. The essential thing in terms of relationships is to accept that we must communicate without falling into drama, manipulation, or victimization. But the obligation now and for 18 months is to understand feelings, our own and those of others. Analysis will not be in fashion, but we must try to take them into account anyway. The path to resolution is long and goes in this direction. First, let us give space to the new asking ourselves what we want to free ourselves from. Then let's review what is truly valuable, inspires us, and has a special value in our heart. Let us make the decision to act with discipline and then remember our purposes and goals. It is with all this that we understand that changing is for our own good. Neither foolishness nor drama helps us at this time. To end the month, the emphasis is on Aquarius, which helps us to be intelligent. But let us remember that we are beginning to reevaluate intelligence. However high it may be, it cannot isolate us through arrogance. It is rather to teach, to communicate to others, to suggest new paths and solutions, not to impose them by force. Even if it is Pluto, let us choose the path of transformation. Let us avoid the path of imposition. We can do it.